Hi, I'm Joseph Crudup, and welcome to my storybook. Tonight, the part 16 of this book called TD, TD Jakes Before You Do. This is the part 16 in this book. Chapter 16 Before You Sell for Less. Effort only fully releases its reward after a person refuses to quit. Many men and women will reach a central plateau in their lives when it feels like the best of their lives is behind them. They'll choose a career field and have an essential measure of success. Then being in a serious relationship, married, have children, and enjoying the rewarding responsibilities of building a family. On the surface, their lives seem fulfilling and they often feel guilty for their discomfort. They go to church, take a nice vacation on every other year, and drive a dependable late model cars that gets down where they need to go. They may even have larger measures, offering success, and achieve everything they set their minds to obtain. But still something's missing. Their zest for life has been ground down to a fine powder that becomes scalding to the full winds every time one of life's storms blows through. They are borne out by the allegations or the office. Tired of the drama where there are teenagers, weary of the directions with their spawns, and exhausted by the giant treadmill their lives have become. Consequently, they begin to self-destruct, looking to a field, a career change, a facelift, or a new sports car to escape their boredom, anger, and frustration. Quitting time. Many of the people who come to me for counseling have shared their secret fantasy of running away and leaving everything behind, starting over in another country, culture, or relationship. Can you relate? I want to quit my life. One man told me, I'm sick and tired of everyone sucking the life out of me without putting in anything in return. I want to disappear and never look back. To this man and others, I usually point out to obviously, you might leave the circumstances behind, but you never escape yourself. Those who conquered life end up no happier than those who stuck it out. The cast may change, but the script usually stays the same. Before you quit anything, low job, low marriage, or low life, I encourage you to think about why you want to leave and where you want to go next. If the trespasses others must relinquish her hold, her hold on the swinging bar in order to catch the next ball coming her way, then we must have clear perspective on what we're releasing and what we're moving toward. We're doomed to repeat the past if we don't explain or as my our poor choices. Too often, we have quit the wrong things at the wrong time. We have relinquished the dreams that would have sustained us on our journey in favor of all of the dreams of others, pleasing our parents, conforming to others' expectations, and taking the most commitment, connect opportunities that came out way well every tangibly counts out to us and lead us into a season of slow burning rains and envenoming depression. On the other hand, maybe we have been so afraid of change that We now need to quit something in order to make room for the next season of our lives. You may need to quit the present job, relationship, or church situation in order to make room for the next career, person, or fellowship. For most of us, we often dig our own ruts in life through a start, style of decision making in which we vacillate between our boredom with what we had and our fear of future uncensored. Before you quit anything, you should look within and seek to determine your real movements for such as self-interest. Are you settling for less than your worth? Staying in a relationship because you're afraid to be single and alone? Keeping in a job that's breaks you because it's too tough to change careers at your age? Resigning yourself to the molecular the principle because of the fearful uncensored leaping off the cliff of the future. The only way to know is to examine your dreams. The secret to making powerful decisions throughout your life is often the difference between keeping your dreams alive and selling them for a walk apart in someone else's dream. Before you quit, it's time to reveal those unrecognizable longings that have been languishing with freeze or bone deep in the bar of your heart. You may be familiar with the story of Lazarus, the brother of Mary and Martha, who suffered an illness that claimed his life. Even when Jesus was notified of his condition, his sisters buried him in the family tomb and had been gravely 4 days when Jesus finally arrived to ask after his sick friend, "Where had you laid him?" He asked. This is the powerful scene where we find the simple understatement of Jesus' wept. John 11, verse 35. Despite the smell of Daisy emanating from the graveside and the frustration of the women over why he had not arrived prior to their brother's death, Jesus called for Leonidas to come out. Mary and Martha's brother in Jesus then commanded, take off the grave clothes and let him go. John 11, verse 43 through 44. His, his, permissive, his permissive brother could hardly prevent the God of the universe from reckoning the beating of his heart and the flow of lifeblood through his veins. Leonidas was very much alive. In the same way, we have dreams that we may have buried prematurely that God now wants to restriction in our lives. These dreams may center on completing our education, starting our own business, personal relationship, or expressing a career talent that to you have had to strive. Most of us learn through the process of meditation and culture that all of our dreams won't come true. In fact, based on the circumstances of life, just the daily grind of living, working, and supporting a family, not to mention the house blows, a loss, and the grave without Gavaris. We learn to be realistic and see the glass half empty no matter how much it may have contained at one time. However, I find the only way to overcome the midlife doldrums, which can assault you at any age or stage of life, and stays of low life is to call forth low dreams from the tomb where you bury them. Otherwise, you will end up on a self-destruction path to following them into the grave, entering a lunacy of regrettably. First, you must make a conclusive. You must make a concession choice to believe that a resurrection is possible, just as transformation required a level of faith that you may have abandoned it as well. You must be willing to face low past disappointments and recalibrate low expectations. You must dare to hope and silence the top of the internal critic that has held the keys to the prison for the others within you. You must dare to hope and ignore the critical chapter from others in your life who are entered not incapable of supporting you or willingly to oppose you in Lord innovators. You must dare to hope when another client cancels her order or another bill transcends its Lord client limit. Then you must be willing to give to greater the past choice you made, which had either directly or indirectly result in another law or those being harbinger or uh, law bill alive lawgivers. You likely had good reasons and logical self justification for choosing what you choose. But if the result place greater distance between you and your dreams, then you must be willing to forgive yourself as well as others who had discouraged you. In Lord Nazareth's story, his sisters grieved him for 4 days before Jesus came to restore their brother to life. Jesus himself wept at his friend's tomb. He might be tempted to think that these tears were wasted because Laurinaitis came back to life. Then perhaps it took the loss of their brother from Mary and Martha to fully appreciate how much they loved their brother and missed his presence in their lives. Sometimes we must lose our dreams in order to realize just how precious they are to us. Then, when they were restored and emerged with new life from the tube of our regret, we can celebrate their resurrection with true appreciation. Finally, we must be willing to remove the grave clothes from our dreams and unwrap the target rags that had accumulated. Through the years of the domination, this process includes facing the facts how you had about how you had changed over the years. If your dream was to become an astronaut on the space shuttle or to be a star for on the NBA team, then your age, lack of experiences, and physical condition may have eliminated those possibilities. However, your dream can still live if you were allowed it to evolve it. You have changed over the years since your dream first took root, so you must allow that it has changed as well. It may yield differently fruit than you must imagine the fruit, but fruit nonetheless. You may not be able to become an astronaut, but you can become a scientist teacher, passing along your passion for the solar system to seventh graders. You may not have the stamina left to take on Allen Iverson or Dunk Nowitzki on the court, but you can channel your passion into coaching some long man who share your dream and have time on the other side, on their side. Have time on their side. Consider how your dream can bless others as well as fulfill your own purpose and desire for a meaningful life. If our dreams only involve more money, possessions, and partial achievements, then we'll continue to feel empty because we're not giving back and passing along the passion to fulfill someone else's dream. We must allow our dreams to evolve just as our lives have evolved, and we must be willing to see them translating our own happiness. We all have moments we want to quit. If we're all like most people, as you get older, you think of dreams as a luxury you can no longer afford, especially if you're married with children. Dreams have been replaced by mortgage payments, tu- tuition bills, trips to the other races, other more serious concerns after working all day and cooking, cleaning, and helping with homework all night. The only dreams you had are the ones that come to you in your sleep. After you exhausted head hits the pillow and leisurely you're too tired to ever remember them. There are essentially realities and responsibilities of life that prevent us from picking up and quitting our jobs or going off to travel around the world or a whim. But often, those realities are really excuses or fears that if we try to do something different, something something we dream of doing, we will fall. We convince ourselves it's better to quit while we are ahead. Well, maybe not ahead, but at least we are comfortable. When asked why they had quit pushing a dream you other hell, people quote the old saying, the devil you know is better than the devil you don't. This kind of press, pessimistic attitude keeps you stuck in life. Giving up on dreams is like giving up on hope. I heard it said, we are Eastern people living in a Good Friday world. Hope, dreams are all we really had. Sure, some dreams are not meant to come true. After all, only a very forcible few of us can be Olympic athletes or movie stars. Let many of the dreams we give up on. Where little love and care, like Jesus, can be restricted. Sometimes it seems easier to just quit, to just give up and accept your life in life, and accept the law of life. Life is not necessarily good, but it is good enough. But before you quit your dream, consider if nothing changes from this point forward. Are you satisfied with your life? If your answer is no, then quitting may be preferable. Consider recession. We just we just your dream to best suit your circumstances and approach you are now. If you want to start a business, take a trip, or bring a second career, whatever it is, inject some positive energy into your dream by taking a cinema, joining a support group, returning to school, or reading a book on the subject. Divorce a new plan, surrounding yourself with like-minded, positive people for support, and then start by taking a risk, a small one at first, some little step toward realizing your goal. But observe it, take notes, consider what you learn. If it works out, great. If it doesn't, it just and then take another step. Maybe a little bigger risk. Do it again and again until each time the risk you take will get easier to deal with. and soon you will find yourself stronger, more courageous, and steps down the road towards where you want to be in your life, and closer to make your dreams come true. As Langston Huggins wrote, hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, for if dreams die, life is a broken regular board that cannot fly. Hold fast to dreams, for when dreams go, life is a battlefield, frozen with snow. Fear of flying. Have you ever had the privilege to witness the flight of the beautiful Majorette bird known as the eagle? I've been blessed to see several of them, both in this country and in Africa, and been fascinated by, by their powers. Adult eagles have a wingspan of 9 feet, and their eagle-eye vision for each they are so well known can pinpoint movement up to 3 miles away as they soar higher and higher, grasp the purple pinks of the mountaintop miles away. The eagle embodies and entangles in the purpose that will do well to the world. They do not develop in their grace, eagerly, and presence overnight. On the contrary, they were often forced by their parent to leave their home. When the eagle stirs her nest, she shakes things up to make it uncomfortable for her eagles to stay in their prospective environment. She will pick them up and drop them outside the nest. And as the little birds begin falling, they do wait instantly and begin flapping, breaking their fall and fluttering with the breeze in the first attempt at flight. The mobile waxes proudly and continues this process for the education of their survival. Fall and then flat and then fly. Finally, falling, flapping, soaring, eagles learn by being pushed to do what they were born to do. Otherwise, they will never learn to exercise their natural gifts and inherent abilities upon which the individual survives and the perpetuation of their species depend. Everything I was ever important in my life went through this process. Everything that we individual to accomplishments, perform, or achievement must go through this back and forth. We crucially process of 3 steps forward and 2 steps back. We will never reach the equal heights for which God designed us if we are not willing to flat in the midst of our falls and find a corner that can lift us as we spread our wings. Every successful business has blundered and floundered and nearly failed before it breaks through to the next level of its success. People who have achieved great things in life are usually not more gifted in talent or privileged than the rest of us. They, they seemingly have learned to learn into their mistakes and able process through them to the next level or chemistry and expectation. How many gold how many Olympic gold medal winners didn't make their country's team the first time that they applied? How many times has Donald Trump declared bankruptcy for one of his companies? How many times the doctor did Dr. King had those slamming in his face and that ears deflecting his message before a movement was broken and people of all colors began hailing his cap for the change. Someone told me early in life, you'll win if you don't quit, and it has proved true time and again. I had never seen a Crudup win because there's simply no way possible to win if you quit. But if you don't give up, you can win. You can win. With passion and tenacity, learn to break the elephant you wish to discount it into bite-sized pieces. You do the next thing you know to do and take the next step that's in front of you. You fulfill the next door, delivering the next shipment, preach the next sermon, prepare for the next meeting, write the next report, set the next table, or wash the next load of laundry. You may see no way humanly possible for the dream to be broadened, but that can be a positive because it keeps you humble, willing to seek and accept help from others, and on the lookout for divine, even tangible dreams will happen should not be intentional, intentional on your own strength. These are merely goals. Dreams must be worth the time and tears you pour into them, so that when your baby is born, it is so much larger than you could ever have delivered it on your own. You must know that something that starts out on the staff, on the family, and on the poor family can still learn how to fly. You must have to swoop down and save it several times before it takes flight. Maybe the mother eagle takes the pieces to teach her ingots, eagles to fly because of all that she went through, from convention in flight to brightening down high above the treetops. The mother goes through so much that she's not willing to let them fail by staying in the safety of the closed nets. She takes the risk to push her baby out of its comfort zone to let it be all that it was meant to be. She knows it will never learn how to fly in safe places. I recall how many times I had botany and then had to innovate the rest over and over again. When I'm boarding a play, I couldn't keep it safe by allowing it to be a nice little short production. So I took it on the wall and had to spend 50,000 on the wall investment on top of the $78,000 a week recording to stage and produce to play. I never forget that opening night on the wall. It didn't sell too well. It didn't sell so well, so we had given away tickets in hopes that will mount will spread the news of the quality of the production. Within a week or two, we began playing sold-out shows in every major city in which we performed. Most people don't have the tenacity to withstand the flattened stage of low building, a lost building, a lost building, dream, a lost dream. If you believe in it, then you'll fight for it, one barrel at a time. My father is another example of a man with a dream that experience consult flattening before the flight. He began work as a janitor for a small business in our town. With one mop and one bucket, he worked tirelessly week after week until the building looked like new. Soon was spread about the quality of his labors and the reliability of his character. He was able to hire a couple of employees and fill in with family and friends. When I was 10 years old, he tossed me in with the rest of the fleeting crew, and my job was to take broiler paths to the corners and scrub them clean. He started where he was and ended up with a reputable small business that employs a staff of 48. Before you quit, you must overcome your fear of heights and be willing to risk falling at the next level. Feel the fear and at least try to flutter. You'll never fly if you don't fall. Fly hard and learn into the winds of change. Reveal your dreams and refuse to get them up to the tomb of past mistakes and present regrets. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint. Isaiah 40 verse 31. All of us are tempted to quit at times, to give up the fight and just accept medicality. But the next time weariness weighs you down or trails temporarily make you want to give up your dreams. Take a deep breath and ask the Lord for your strength to be renewed before you do. That's the end of this book on chapter 16 at the end of page 249. Tomorrow we'll begin to read Before You Fight of chapter 17. And that's the end of this book on part 16 on this book called TDGs Before You Do. Until then, I'm Joseph Crudup. I will see you tomorrow. Take care, everybody, and God bless you.